All right, starting off the podcast, before we get to a more depressing topic, which is the Dallas Mavericks, we're going to talk about the NFL draft because that's actually exciting and that's actually fun to talk about and doesn't make our blood boil just thinking about it. So Rosie and Alex are with me for the first segment for this week, and we're doing a new segment idea. Is actually courtesy of Rosie for thinking of this, and it's NFL draft dream scenarios. So, if you're like any of us, you've got your favorite team and you have been thinking in your head, unless you're the Dolphins, of what your team's going to do in the first round. But we're not just focusing on our team. We're going to look at some of the other teams. And of course, we are going to focus on our teams as well. But just thinking of the dream scenario of what we'd like to see happen in this draft. I mean, the NFL draft, there's always surprise. There's always intrigue. You always have a team move up that you didn't expect, or a team gets back into the first round as the night's winding down and things like that. So that's kind of the premise here. We each have come up with a few. Alex, Rosie, who wants to do us the honors of starting this thing off?
I can go first.
Okay.
I don't think this one is unlikely to happen. I think this one, if this player fell to this team, I think it's more likely the team doesn't take him than it is that he doesn't fall there. If that makes sense. So,
okay.
Lions getting Jalen Carter.
Ooh, at what? What's their draft pick?
Six. Yeah, it's not crazy.
Because there's talk of him because of all his arrest stuff. He didn't get arrested.
He just got arrested, didn't he?
No, I think he
got indicted, right?
Deal. Yeah. And he's just going to have to do like 60 hours of community service or something. So nothing serious, but it might be, pointing to character concerns for teams. But
it's also a little fat at their pro day and couldn't complete all the workouts.
He ran out of breath and stopped his pro day, which is kind of embarrassing.
Do you think it's like do you think the pro day thing is like intentional sabotage? Like, I don't want to get drafted by, whatever team at the top. So let me see if I can ting my draft stock just a little bit to fall down to a more stable.
What you're talking about is, if you're drafted in the top 5,
true, it's money.
It's like $10 million more than outside.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
Good point.
So Jalen Carter to the Lions.
It would just be the perfect for the Lions. That is the one position on defense that they're missing at this point. And I think he's the best defensive player in the draft over Will Anderson. But
not a hot take. I think they're like 1A, 1B.
Dan Campbell did say that he doesn't want turds on his team, and Jalen Carter might be a turd. So we'll see if it happens. But
did they interview him? Do you know?
They did not.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. So Jalen Carter to the Lions is your first one. Alex, you want to go next?
Yeah, sort of same type of vibe. Mine's for the Seahawks, but it's Will Anderson. Especially with the news this weekend that we are bringing back Bobby Wagner.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, very happy about that. But the only team that will probably take Will Anderson above the Seahawks, who pick at 5, would be the Cardinals. Are they 4th or 3rd?
They're 3rd.
Okay, yeah. Cardinals could probably use an edge guy, especially losing J.J. Watt and all that. But if he somehow drops to us and can sort of just get under Bobby Wagner's wing, I think that'd be a perfect fit for us, especially he could start right away. Like, there's no real depth at that position. And Pete Carroll's
Y'all don't have a lot of pass rushers, so
no, yeah. We just need every type of pass rusher. So yeah, I think he'd be a perfect fit. We got the vets now he can learn from, and Pete Carroll's a great defensive coach. I don't know. I think it'd be a perfect fit, like I said.
Okay. Yeah, so the Cardinals, like we said, they're at 3, but there's a lot of talk that they're one of the likely candidates to trade out of that pick because obviously they don't need a quarterback. And so
trade back.
Carolina's going to take one at 1. Houston's going to take one at 2. And so it might even be something as simple as Indianapolis trading up from 4 to 3, or maybe Vegas or Atlanta or whoever. Okay. My first one, I wish Trent was here because when I wrote this down, I thought specifically of him, and it's about my Chicago Bears. I'm just gonna take ownership of them now, and that is, and I've seen this guy mocked to them a lot at 9 because they had the first pick traded down to 9 with Carolina. Offensive tackle Peter Skoronski.
Where do you play at?
Northwestern.
Northwestern. Which Northwestern, they crank out offensive linemen. That's well known.
Checks out.
It's also well known that Chicago famously needs offensive linemen. So I just think it'd be a perfect fit. He'd be your plug and play starting right tackle from day one. He would provide, some much needed protection for our guy Justin Fields. And so I'm really hoping we see that. He
might not be a tackle though. That's the thing.
Too small?
He has short arms.
Interesting.
He's so talented, though. I say draft him and then figure it out later. If he's tackle or guard, my team has had Zach Martin for a decade, and even as a guard, he makes he makes a huge difference, right? So I want to see him go to the Bears at 9. I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right. I'm going to double dip on mine because I came up with quite a few, and I'm going to stay in the NFC North, and I want Green Bay at 15 to take a wide receiver just for the content, because all the criticism and all the news that has been made in years past of them not taking a first round wide receiver during Aaron Rodgers' time there, it would just be hilarious if the first year that he's gone, because I'm working under the assumption that he's out in Green Bay, and it'd be hilarious if the first draft after he's traded, they take a wide receiver. They take Jackson Smith and Jigba at 15 or something. That would just, the content there would be gold. So that's the only reason I'm rooting for that.
That'd be hilarious. I would love that.
Good reason.
Yeah. Let's see. Back to you, Rosie.
All right. My second one, I got Bijan falling to the Bengals at, what pick is that?
28.
Pick 28. I don't think he'll make it there. But, I've seen a couple mocks now where Bijan doesn't even get drafted in the first round. I think that'd be ridiculous. If he gets to the Bengals at 28, they're going to have to scoop him up. Because, adding Bijan to this incredible offense with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, a good offensive line. Oh, my gosh. He would take them to the next level.
I think there's a team in front of the Bengals by one pick that if he makes it that far, I don't think he's getting to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Alex, do you want to tell the listeners who that team is who would be drafting Bijan?
Well, it's the Chargers. You said a pick before?
Yeah, right before Cincinnati at 28.
For some reason I was looking at the Ravens. It would be the Buffalo Bills.
Little old town in Buffalo.
that would definitely be a dream scenario for them. Instant plug and play guy. Great in the passing game too. Josh Allen would have a lot of fun with him. I sort of want that to happen now.
By the way, I think out of all the running backs you said that were going to go to the Bills, I'm not sure if you said Damian Harris was.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a big name. They definitely like him.
So because I like the Bengals pick right there, Rosie, for a dream scenario, but I'm curious because Cincinnati and Buffalo are both, top tier teams in the AFC. Which of those teams do you think Bijan makes a bigger immediate impact? Cincinnati
Bengals.
Or Buffalo? Really?
Bengals, because they run the ball a lot more.
Yeah, but they could use Bijan in so many different ways, and they probably run the ball a little bit more with a guy like Bijan.
Yeah, maybe. But, you're talking about a Josh Allen-led team where he is the main running back. So
I don't think it would be anymore if they bring in a guy like Bijan.
I'm not sure they would. I'm not sure that's up to the coaching staff. I think that's up to Josh Allen himself.
Eventually he can't be the main guy. Eventually,
and that's why they brought in Damian Harris. That's why they picked James Cook in the second round last year.
Oh, they actually brought in Damian Harris? I must have missed that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I was referencing.
I
Yeah.
thought you just meant like I didn't mention him in one of the running backs that could go.
No, yeah,
there.
they signed him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How recent was that?
A week ago.
Yeah, I think it was literally like exactly a week. It was like last Monday, right before we hit record. I know you weren't on last week, but
yeah, flew under the radar.
Yeah. All right, Alex, to you, your next dream scenario.
An extreme scenario sort of coincides with what happened today with the Ravens, but this guy would have to, I don't know, maybe fall. They're 22, but it's Anthony Richardson to the Baltimore Ravens. Sort of just a same exact type of guy as Lamar Jackson. Just plug him in, run the same system, and hey, you got 4 more years of a rookie quarterback deal. Like, see if it works. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I was on this same mindset about a month ago because I think I made the call that the Falcons were going to trade for Lamar, and then the Ravens would draft him at, what is that, 8?
Yeah. Atlanta picks at 8.
But not to one up you, I think I got a better one. I think if Will Levis falls to the Ravens pick, which is more likely at this point, I think that might be a dream scenario for them because remember, we're getting a new offensive coordinator in Muskin. He's not going to be running the Roman scheme anymore where he's going to be asked to run a whole lot. So I'm not even sure if they're
He's more of a Greek guy, isn't he?
Huh? Oh. Shut up. Persian.
Sorry,
anyway.
I threw you off. Continue. You said Roman scheme, and that's just where my mind went.
Yeah. Well, Muskin is from, I think he was offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay when Jameis was there. So, just a typical drop back passer that maybe has some plus athleticism. Not that Muskin is the coach. Like, he's not making the decisions. Just, I think they're done with a Lamar Jackson kind of guy. They don't want to pay guys that have a better potential of getting injured.
So can we use this time to talk about the Lamar thing? Because it came out today. We're recording this Monday night. So earlier Monday that Lamar tweeted out that back on March the 2nd, he requested a trade from the Ravens. So that was him kind of being his own PR man, because as it's been documented and talked about many times, he doesn't have an agent. He's representing himself. So he's requested a trade from the Ravens. To me, it feels most likely that he's going to get traded, or he's going to get signed by another team, and then it ends up trading because of the franchise tag or whatever after the draft. And it's going to be kind of, the draft is going to happen in these quarterback needy teams. They're going to know whether or not they got their quarterback. And if they didn't, if they missed out on their guy, or they missed out on a guy in the first round, then they go trade for Lamar, and then they're trading next year's first and the first for the year after that. Because if you're a team like the Colts, for example, they have the 4th pick. Do you want to trade the 4th pick for Lamar? Or do you want to see if, let's say that you have one quarterback you really like, and if you get him at 4, great. And if not, you take best player available, or maybe you trade down or something. And then you trade next year's first and the following year's first for Lamar. Assuming that those picks are not going to be as high as 4th, right? To me, that's how I see it playing out. I don't know what y'all think, but
I think it might be more likely it happens during the draft than after. Just because in negotiation, I don't know how the franchise tag thing works, though. Because would it be the Ravens are going to want to pick their guys with those first round picks? Or do they not even have an option in? So, like, say the Colts, like your example.
yeah.
Can the Ravens say no to 24-25 first because they want the number 4 overall pick?
I think it's whatever the next 2 first round picks are. So if that pick has already happened. So, like, I see what you're saying about it could happen during the draft. But the only thing that I think could kind of be a snag in that is it's not just a straight up trade. It's the Colts would have to make an offer to Lamar. He would have to accept that offer, and then the Ravens would have a chance to match it or say they're not going to match it, and then the Colts have to trade for him. So it's kind of, the timeline might be too long for it to be like a draft night thing, you know?
Yeah. If it was going to happen, you would think that it would already have happened, right?
The franchise tag?
No, the trade.
Oh.
You would think that a trade would have already happened by now.
Yeah.
Unless it's these teams at the top of the draft that are saying, let's get through this draft and then trade future first, you know?
Yeah. And then Harbaugh said today that he still expects Lamar to be a Raven this season, which
sure
could be just saying that, but who knows?
No, he said, and I quote, "I love him."
Josh Rosen is our guy. That's what that sounds like to me.
Ugh. It's over there now, huh?
Yeah. So no. That's what Kingsbury said when they had the first overall pick.
Okay.
And then drafted Kyler Murray like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So Alex, this all stemmed from your dream scenario of the Ravens, or no, you said
the Ravens taking Anthony.
The Ravens
Richardson.
taking Anthony Richardson,
and then Rosie countered with Will Levis.
So I'm gonna kind of add on to yours. I like that take, but a dream scenario that I have, and it wasn't even specific to a team. It was just a team outside the top 10 trading all the way up to Arizona at 3 to take a quarterback. Because I love it when you're going through the draft and you have a team that you find out there's some trade in it, and a team jumps all the way up in the draft to take a quarterback. It just adds to the suspense of it, and it adds to the excitement of the night. And I think it'd be great if the Ravens at where are they picking? 22, right?
Yeah.
If you just get like the Schefter tweet that the Ravens have traded with Arizona for the 3rd pick, and then you assume that they're taking, Levis or Richardson or whoever, if you're assuming that Stroud
and they take Hendon Hooker.
Oh, big arm.
Because just imagine the compensation they'd have to give up, right? To move
next
all
year's
Tampa Bay,
first and the second from this year.
Washington, Titans, the Patriots.
Yeah. These guys are.
I think you're going to see some teams. You're going to see a lot of movement, I think, this draft, which I hope so. I hope we get that, because that's going to be exciting.
Help the Seahawks out.
Yeah.
Have Anderson slide down to 5.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any dream scenarios that they've cooked up?
I thought of one off the top of my head that I don't think it's that realistic, but the Seahawks pick again at 20. And thinking down the road, we're eventually going to need a Tyler Lockett substitution because he's getting old. But let's say Jackson Smith Njigba. Squeaks on down to 20. I think that'd be the perfect replacement for Tyler Lockett in a couple years. He could come in and play the 3rd receiver right away for us, get another weapon for Geno. But eventually, we're just going to have to let Tyler go. And Smith and Jigba, I could definitely see him fall down to 20 if there's a run on, say, defensive players or offensive linemen, stuff like that. I don't think it's out of the question. It's just also, would the Seahawks pull the trigger on a receiver that early? Because they have other needs for sure, but I think they would have to, just because he'd be the best remaining guy on the board, a nice playmaker for him. So I would personally love that, but I also don't think it's extremely realistic, which is why it's the pipe dream for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba he's my pick for the best receiver in this class. He's from Rockwall. I don't know if you knew that. And
did not.
His stats in high school, it's like they're not quite on this level, but they're almost on Derrick Henry level of just stupidity. Go look up his stats in high school, and he had one season where he had 2,100 receiving yards and 35 touchdowns as a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Which is just absurd, considering they play 12 games in a season and then, playoffs or whatever. But
now CBS has him mocked at 12, so he'd only have to fall 8 spots, which isn't out of the blue.
Yeah. And you see wide receivers fall in the draft all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, the Cowboys took CeeDee Lamb at 16, and he was projected to go top 10 in like every mock. So, I mean, it always happens. Speaking of wide receivers, I'll go with this one. Bengals trade T. Higgins on draft night.
To who?
Just
I don't know.
whoever?
To whoever.
No, you gotta say who. Come on.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Put him on the spot.
Patriots.
Ooh.
Bengals trade him to. It's got to be someone like. I don't know. It wouldn't be Buffalo because they wouldn't do because they're conference rivals. I don't think they do that. The Cowboys fan in me says go get him, Jerry, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. That's tough because I'm trying to think of a good suitor because I'm just thinking back to last year's draft where it was a big surprise that the Titans were trading AJ Brown, and then they ended up taking that pick to draft Treylon Burks, and that happened on draft night, and so there's precedent there. Patriots would be a lot of fun.
Giants
would be interesting.
That'd be a really good one.
I kind of like that for New York. I hate it as a Cowboys fan.
He's out of the AFC, which would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Giants get their guy because they don't have one yet,
so they can pay him, right?
Exactly. And I think they have a lot of cap space to work with, so I think they could pay him what AJ Brown was getting. And yeah, a first round pick, 25th overall for T. Higgins. I feel like that's pretty good for the Bengals.
I think that works out for both because Bengals don't want to pay him anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's the hard thing with trying to the Giants is a really good one. But if you just assume any of the top AFC teams, they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him to Buffalo. They're not going to trade him to Kansas City. Probably not even Jacksonville. Although him and Jacksonville would be ludicrous. That would be awesome. Giants are a good one. Obviously 49ers, you can never rule them out. Seattle, Alex, you talked about a Tyler Lockett replacement. Let's say Smith and Jigba's not there at 22 or at 20. And Cincinnati says, hey, give us pick 20. We'll give you T. Higgins. Now you got T. Higgins and DK Metcalf for the next half decade.
That'd be sexy.
Twin Towers. Ooh.
Yeah.
2 towers, Alex. 2 towers.
Oh, man. All right. And then the last one for me, because I haven't mentioned the Cowboys, and is it too vague to just say stay out of the way, Jerry? Because the Cowboys have had an awesome offseason, and I just hope that they continue this good energy going into the draft.
They're the best drafting team in the NFL right now.
They are.
Yeah.
But they've also had some blunders.
Like who?
Taco Charlton over TJ Watt.
Yeah. You can understand that one, though. You can understand it.
No. Every single draft person was saying TJ Watt is the pick. That should have been the pick at the time. And hindsight has only enhanced that.
Yeah. Not a great one, but Micah Parsons, though. That's
yes.
One of when they knew they needed a cornerback and they got Micah Parsons anyway. I have faith that they're going to make the right decisions because they don't reach for needs.
So there's a guy that I've seen mocked to them, and I'm really trying to I'm really trying to be better and not be super hyperbolic with my sports teams. And so this is not me trying to do that for attention, but if the Cowboys draft this player in the first with their 26th overall pick, I think they're at least going to the NFC Championship game.
Oh,
based on one guy.
Who's that guy?
Mozzie Smith. He is a defensive tackle from Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because everything the Cowboys have done this offseason has been counter to the way that they've operated for years. They've traded late draft picks for proven veterans when they've normally how many years and how many times in history have you seen some like really good vet get traded for pennies? And it's like, why didn't the Cowboys go out and get them? And they never do that. But now they're trading a late pick for Stephon Gilmore when that was one of their biggest needs. They trade a late pick for Brandon Cooks, and that was one of their biggest needs. And so they're going into the draft with their biggest need being interior defensive linemen, and they've never prioritized that position. Like in my entire lifetime, they've never spent a day 1 or day 2 pick on an interior defensive lineman, as far as I can remember. And if they spend a first round pick on that, then that shows that they're truly turning over a new leaf and they're operating in a smart way. And it's game over.
I completely agree with you. I just think you got the wrong guy. I like Kalijah Cansey a lot. And I think that if he went to the Cowboys, the pass rush would be absolutely insane. He's a smaller defensive tackle, smaller than Mozzie Smith, so he's not going to be a big run stuffing guy. But I mean, he has Aaron Donald traits. He like measured in at the exact same everything as Aaron Donald in the combine. Ran a little bit faster than Aaron Donald.
Where did he play? Oh,
Pitt.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, not saying that he's going to be Aaron Donald, but like he
measures up like him.
Yep.
I'm fine with him or Mozzie Smith. If like just
an interior defensive lineman.
Exactly. It's not as much specific to the player. If they are actually drafting like a need that they haven't prioritized in years, then I'm like, okay, they're actually operating differently. Like this is worth paying attention to.
Doesn't Stephen Jones run the draft anyways? And Will his name?
Will McClay.
Okay.
If they let him make the decisions, then they're going to have a great draft. But yeah, so that's my Cowboys one. Do y'all have anything else for this segment?
I'm out of ideas.
Good.
I got one.
One more.
It's dream scenario for sure, but Will Anderson going to the Bills?
Like
he'd
they
have
trade
to
up
fall pretty far.
really far.
But if 4 quarterbacks go in the top 9, that's 4 picks right there. Jalen Carter, and then a couple other guys who are getting a lot of hype right now: Tyree Wilson and
Texas
Nolan
Tech.
Smith out of Georgia. They
Yeah,
both had
Tyree
incredible combines.
keeps getting mocked to the Seahawks at 5.
Yep, seen that a lot. So I think it's possible. It might just be name fatigue at this point.
Right.
You know, we've heard Anderson as the best defensive player in the draft so far. So it could be one of those Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker kind of situations.
So let's end with this. Just real quick prediction time. And we'll probably revisit this before the draft. But do we get 4 quarterbacks in the top 10?
Ooh.
What do y'all think?
Actually, can we predict where they're going to go?
Sure.
I'll say yes. Just in general, there'll be four quarterbacks taking the top 10. Yes.
Stroud
Okay.
to the Panthers. Young to the Texans.
I'm with you on both.
Richardson to the Colts. Levis to the Titans.
Levis to the Titans. So Vegas, Atlanta, they both pass.
Yeah. I think
Detroit
Atlanta-
passes.
Wait, you think Atlanta needs a quarterback?
I think the Lions pass for sure, especially if it's Will Levis. I mean, I would like them to draft him, but I don't think they will. Falcons, absolutely. They don't value the quarterback position at all. And I think it'll be to their detriment. And then the Raiders, they got their guy.
Yeah, they did. Let's keep an eye out on Trent's Vikings as a team with the potential of moving up. Because there's been a
They should
lot
go
of
get Lamar.
reports. That's what I've been saying.
Trent would throw a conniption fit.
I told Trent that if the Vikings traded for Lamar, they're winning the NFC.
You should get him a jersey if they do.
They will not.
Get him a signed jersey.
Who would go in with me on that? Buying a Lamar Jackson Vikings jersey for Trent if they get him.
Oh my gosh. I'd be down.
I think that we should.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
And we should not
Frame
tell
it.
him about it. And we should ship it to him and have him open it live on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I think if it happens, I think the four of us plus Austin, will chip in $30 or whatever, however much it costs. And
Oh, I'm down.
I think we should do that.
Because he's not listening to this podcast.
No, he never listens. He never does. All right, let's wrap it there.
Wait, Andrew, do you have some quarterback? Like, do you think they're going to go in the top 10?
Oh, predictions.
I think you get 4 in the top 10. And it might not be 4 of the teams currently in the top 10, but I think you're going to see some trades.
You think someone trades up with the Cardinals at 3?
Yeah. I think what I could see on it, if the Cardinals are smart, let's say Vegas calls them and wants to move up from 7 and pass the Colts. Cardinals trade back from 3 to 7. And then let's say Young, Stroud, and Richardson are off the board at that point. And the Cardinals are now sitting there at 7 and Levis is still on the board. And then let's say the Vikings call them and say, hey, we'll give you whatever draft capital package would be needed to move up from 23 to 7. And then the Cardinals move back more and just get tons and tons of draft capital.
I can see that.
So I think you're going to see lots of trades because I think this draft is interesting to where there's a bunch of quarterback needy teams that aren't necessarily at the top. And then you have some teams at the top who don't need a quarterback.
Yep.
And so it's just the perfect formula for some crazy trades on draft night.
And there might be Hopkins going during the draft too.
Oh, yeah?
T. Higgins, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I think A.J. Brown really opened the door for all
you guys know the date of the draft?
It is April 26th.
Oh, so less than a month from now.
April 27th. Thursday,
Oh.
April 27th.
So exactly a month from now.
Exactly a month from the time we're
Well, that's why
recording
we did this, right?
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's end with this. I'm gonna end this segment with a spicy take.
Are you making the call?
Not quite making the call.
Oh, okay.
Not quite making the call because it's a long shot. I think if you see Lamar get traded before the draft, there's only one team that's going to trade for him.
And who would that be?
This sounds like a call, man. This sounds like a call.
It sounds a lot like a call.
It's a team who doesn't have a draft pick this year in the first round.
The Dolphins?
The Dolphins.
Deshaun Elliott.
They just picked up Tua's fifth-year option. Why would they? Do
Exactly. So that he's locked up for another year.
Did you send him back to the Ravens?
Tua and 2 first-round picks for Lamar and whatever Tua's worth. Let's say a second-round pick.
I
And
think it's just Tua and 2 first-round picks. That's all you're getting.
no, I think the Ravens would have to send something back because they're not just getting the picks; they're getting Tua.
Something. Okay. I thought you meant like
It
the
would have to
Ravens
be
would
two
also
separate
send a
trades,
second.
wouldn't it?
I don't know. It might,
I have
be
no
tricky.
idea how.
but I
the
want
tag
that
trade
for the
works.
content. And also Lamar and the Mike McDaniel offense, just all that speed between Lamar and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like, think about how fast Lamar is going to look in those baby blue Dolphin jerseys or the teal jerseys. Like, that's just that it make like my brain's going to explode.
And we would get Lamar versus Josh Allen.
Twice a year.
Yes.
And then you would get Lamar versus Mac Jones. And whenever Mac Jones has to go off and scramble, you'd get the side-by-side comparison of the two of them running. And it's like Tom Brady's 40 time at the combine. So
Come on, Deshaun Elliott, make it happen.
I want it to
Kick
happen,
your quarterback out.
Deleted tweet. Rip.
All right, let's end it
Did
there.
he delete it?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
deleted
but
it.
That one guy still got the screenshot, so it's out there
Oh,
forever.
nice.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So that's our dream scenarios for the draft. We're exactly 1 month away. We'll be talking about the draft a lot more. I know that Rosie has his rookie rankings coming out in the Substack later this month. Between now and the draft is when it'll be coming out. So we're excited for that. When we come back, Rosie's hopping off. Austin is joining Alex and I, and we got a myriad of topics to cover. We're talking Mavericks, we're talking Rangers, we're talking March Madness. A lot more excited about the latter than the first one in that list. But we're going to get into all of that and more right after this. All right, wrapping up the podcast. Rosie hopped off. Austin joined us, and we've got a bunch of different topics to talk about. And I thought, guys, we would just start with the worst of them. Kind of rip the Band-Aid off, get the Mavs out of the way so we can move on to greener pastures, talking about the Rangers and March Madness. But I would like to at least take partial responsibility for killing the Mavs because if you're not subscribed to the Substack, I wrote an article on
Side note,
the Substack on Friday talking about how I thought that the Mavs season was going towards a colossal failure and that it probably needed to so that the team could get better long term. And then they lost 2 games back to back to the Hornets. So not saying I'm 100% to blame, but hand up, I deserve some of it.
Hey, making the call isn't the coach.
Yeah.
Neither.
I mean, something we have in common, right? The Mavs are dead. Thoughts?
Not tonight.
Yeah, as we have this, Mavs are dead segment right now, the Mavs are up by 18 on the Pacers after losing back-to-back games to the Hornets. But yeah, they're dead. If I think about, my expectations, especially post Kyrie trade.
They win 2 more games or something, though. They're right back in the play-in.
I don't know if I want that, though.
Definitely not, but these other teams are also tanking.
So I guess if you do make, and we can get into this later, but the dream scenario might be, the dream scenario is you don't make it, you get your top 10 pick, and then you make it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you do make it, don't you get your other pick back to trade? Or is that if you don't make it?
Wait, sorry, say that again?
Don't you have access to another first rounder if you don't make it, right?
What?
Or is it if they do make it?
So
I can't remember.
If the Mavs don't keep their pick,
they got nothing,
then
right?
it goes to the Knicks, and we can trade more picks this summer.
Yeah, so we can trade next year's pick because we don't have this year's pick.
No, we could trade 25 and 27.
25 and 27. Okay. Because say we don't get it, you still your assets open up. Right?
Yeah, can I just say I'm sick of searching for the next trade for the Mavs.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's what we do.
This is a positive world.
So, friend of the pod, Hudson, he was on last week and the few weeks before that. He just posted in the Twitch chat, 25 was traded to the Nets already. No, so Hudson, it was the 2029 draft pick that was traded to the Nets, unprotected. Yep. So if the 2023 pick goes to the Knicks, then we can trade 25 and 27. But if the Mavs keep their pick this year, then it's then the pick that's owed to the Knicks becomes top 10 protected in 2024. And then let's say for whatever reason the Mavs are top 10 again in 2024, then it becomes top 10 protected in 2025. And if it doesn't convey then it turns into a second round pick in 2025. But that would require the Mavs being top 10 for 3 straight years,
and they're not doing that with Luka.
Yeah.
Well,
not 3 straight years.
No, not 3 straight.
Maybe if we keep Jason Kidd for 3 straight years.
I don't know. We can get into
evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
But yeah, so it's ideal scenario for you guys. Miss the play-in. at this point?
Yes.
Probably, but I wouldn't hate making the play-in at the same time, just knowing myself.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan,
I think that would mean we'd probably end up playing the Lakers, which, hey, that'd be fun.
because there's a small voice in my head that's like, what if it clicks, But honestly,
saying that for
I know,
2 weeks,
I know,
man.
exactly. But it's still there, like
Still there.
because you have Luka and Kyrie. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to, but there's always that thought in the back of your head that, oh my gosh, just what if one day it turns on, and then
would have beaten Rick Carlisle after 2 losses to the Pacers or the Hornets just made it click.
So say like you make the 7 seed, and then what? You're playing the Grizzlies probably.
Like after the plan, like you get through the plan.
After they get through the plan and you're the 7 seed. Like the Grizzlies are winnable.
Yeah, honestly, any team is really winnable with Luka in the playoffs. Like Luka's just a different animal,
right? So it's like, do we want to cling to hope for a 7-game series, and then it's like, or do we just want to rip the Band-Aid off, put on our Rangers hats, and go into opening day without having to worry about the Dallas Mavericks?
Yes,
I might be there
because
I'll lean the other way just for whatever, but.
I don't think this Mavs team has a chance to win the title. And I don't think they have a chance to even come out of the West. And for that reason, and here's the thing that worries me is that let's say they let's say they get into the play-in, they win the play-in, they're in a 1-8 matchup or 2-7 matchup. Is that enough success for Mark Cuban to say, let's run it back. Let's give it another year. Give Jason Kidd another year. We'll re-sign Dwight Powell. We'll keep Tim Hardaway Jr. Maybe we'll trade JaVale McGee. Who knows? But let's trade all the picks that we have and go get another mid-level. Have a mid-level star that can. We're gonna make him our third best player, but really he should be like our fifth.
You re-sign Kyrie in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna burst your bubble right now. No matter where the Mavericks end up finishing, Jason Kidd's going to be the coach next year. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, Alex.
Yeah.
Even if they miss the play-in?
Yeah. Mark Cuban doesn't fire coaches that quickly.
And the players haven't turned on him yet.
Players still like him.
Like, he is very much a player's coach. Like, you never hear Luka or
like even
Kyrie or anybody talk bad about him.
Those comments that Jalen Brunson threw out on The Athletic last week, he was talking about how Jason Kidd was such a great players coach and brought out a lot in him, yada, 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 stuff like that. Well,
then, I'm going to quote our old friend Ben Kenobi. Then the Empire has already won.
Yeah.
If Kidd's back regardless, then there goes my hope of turning this team into a contender next year.
What about Kidd with a rim protector?
Well, I laid out a few ideas.
I don't know.
I laid out a few ideas on Twitter.
Yeah, so why don't you go through those? Because I liked your analysis. It made me grieve Dodo because I saw just everything that has happened and it was bad. But take us through your list.
If the Mavs get a top 10 pick, I think their target, regardless of where they fall in that top 10, if they have to move up, then they have to move up, is Horace Walker from Houston. I think he is option number 1 because assuming obviously they don't completely win the lottery and get up to take Wembanyama, right? Like
your randomizer.
Yeah. So yeah. What was that, Sunday?
Yeah, the Sunday.
So Sunday after the Mavs lost to the Hornets a second time, I logged on to an old friend by the name of Tankathon who haven't spent a lot of time with in the last few years, but used to frequent that site daily before we got Luka. Decided to go on there. At the time, I think the Mavs had the 10th pick. And actually, no, this was Friday. This was after they lost the first time. And the Mavs had the 11th pick. I hit Sim Lottery one time, just clicked it one time. And the Mavs jumped all the way up to 1.
Could you imagine?
And I was just like, okay, this is a sign. They need to tank.
Wemby on a rookie contract, re-sign Kyrie and Luka. They would be unbeatable.
Yeah.
On paper.
Assuming that
On
doesn't
paper.
happen.
Jason Kidd is the coach, though.
And it's the Mavs.
Somehow
Assuming
Jason
that
Kidd
doesn't
would take
happen,
credit for getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah. They need to figure out a way to take Jarris Walker from Houston. He would be perfect.
Can you give us a little bio on Jarris Walker for those who may not be familiar?
Okay, so we're all familiar with the Ringer, right?
Yes.
They've got their draft guide. One of the things that I really like about what they do is they do the full scouting reports and then they do shades of to kind of give you an idea. So it's not a full-on like player comparison. It's just like this guy will probably remind you a little bit of this NBA player. And so Jarris Walker from Houston, shades of Julius Randle with a full tank on defense.
Huh.
Ooh.
Like he's a big forward. He's a forward who's built for the NBA. He's 6'8", but he's got a 7'2" wingspan. He is a defensive stopper. He tries his butt off on defense. He's a good rebounder, which the Mavs need.
So he guards the best player on the floor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
How's his 3-point shooting?
34.7%, but only
So-
2.7 attempts a game. So not very proven from behind the arc, but
with some coaching, maybe could stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to adjust.
He's not like Christian Wood stretch, but
he gives you he gives you the interior scoring, but most importantly, he gives you defense and he gives you rebounding.
Mhm.
And I think the scoring will figure itself out. And even if it doesn't, you've got a quality defender and a quality rebounder, which are the two big things that this team needs.
Because Reggie's still on for one more year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So okay.
Hudson said in the Twitch chat, he's Draymond 2.0.
But he's not a system guy.
It's high praise.
So he's very good. If they could figure out a way to draft him, it would be awesome. So I said that, and then re-sign Kyrie, try their best to trade Hardaway Jr. and JaVale McGee, and then Jakob Poeltl is a free agent this offseason. I'd love if they go out and sign him.
He's cheap too.
Yeah, I've
He'd
won
be a
in the last
quality
2
center.
years.
So if you got Poeltl and Walker as your front court, and Luka and Kyrie in your backcourt, and then Bullock or whoever. I mean, sign me up, man. Let's run.
So what do you give up to get all the way up to Walker?
Depends on where they fall in the lottery, right? I mean, if they're 10th, they probably have to move up to 5 or 6.
And at that point, is that going to cost Jaden Hardy or Josh Green? Probably.
I don't know. NBA trades are weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's whatever the difference is. I don't think that it would cost them. I
mean, obviously, I hope not. Over the last 5 games, Hardy has averaged over 20.
Hardy's
right?
untradeable. Hardy's not getting traded.
So would you guys trade Josh Green or Jaden Hardy?
I wouldn't trade Josh Green either because he's another defender.
If you had to pick.
We'd just be trading a young defender for another young defender.
But if you had to pick.
Who is I had to pick Josh Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd hate it, but yeah, Josh Green.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's my idea. But ultimately, I don't want them to make the play-in. Because I want this team to actually change and get better. And this season needs to be as big of a failure as possible for that to happen.
I like it.
So
I like your idea.
Let's see what happens. And we haven't even gotten to the first question on the dock yet.
No, it's just been freestyling.
Given the expectations going into this year, is this the most disappointing season in recent memory if the team doesn't even make the playoffs?
Yes.
And I'm including the
Pretty
play-in.
easily.
Don't even make the play-in.
Yes.
I can't really remember a more disappointing season in the last 10 years than this one.
Mainly because since 2011, like in those years, like we knew we were going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
And no expectations till Lucas showed up.
I mean, we're coming off of Western Conference Finals, and we might not make the play-in.
Yeah. Did the
Hawks
miss the playoffs last year? Because they're sort of the same. They're in the same boat as us, just a year ahead of.
Did they miss the playoffs last year?
Yeah, did they miss the playoffs last year after making the Eastern Conference Finals?
I think they made the play-in.
but didn't make it to the playoffs.
I think they first round exited. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Andrew,
pulling it
are
up
you
right
looking?
now. Yeah. Yeah, they lost 4-1 to Miami in the first round.
Yeah, gentlemen.
They were an 8 seed. Miami was a 1 seed. So, yeah, I think it's clearly the most disappointing season. Hudson said the Rondo season. That's a good contender, but I'd still say this one just because, as Alex said, coming off the Western Conference Finals.
We really didn't have much from 2011 and now. 2011 to a couple of years. As far as
we had
Yogi Ferrell.
Season.
We had Yogi Ferrell mania.
No, the 2014 season when they took the Spurs to 7 games and they took them further than any other team, and the Spurs went on to win the title.
That wasn't disappointing. That was surprising.
You still had Dirk.
No, but you said we didn't have any. Oh, I thought you just said like we didn't have anything to show for the team between 2011 and now.
No, I'm just talking about like not much to hype up about.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that 2014 season was exciting?
I mean, yeah. But
Vince Carter game winner?
But this far exceeds that for me. As far as, you had the true second star coming off a Western Conference Finals. This is supposed to be Luka's MVP year. And then, you had injuries. You trade a fan favorite and Dorian Finney-Smith. You sign Kyrie in an effort to like make a push when the Western Conference is so close, and then it just doesn't work. And now you have given away your fan favorite wing defender, Spencer Dinwiddie, picks for nothing, especially if you don't sign Kyrie again this offseason.
Oh yeah, that's got to be the first goal. Sign Kyrie.
Okay, so I'm about to say something, but I don't want y'all to hate me for saying this. And I'm not even sure if I'm fully like all in on this take. It's just kind of something that's been in my head. I'm actually I don't know if Trent is still watching on Twitch.
If you're going to say that Kyrie isn't the problem, you're right.
No, that's not what I'm going to say, even though that's true. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm going to credit Trent a little bit because when he had his Stars article a few weeks ago, and he was talking about Joey Gallo, and he was like, I always think you should trade a player earlier rather than later, right? Try to capitalize on it.
Don't say it.
Don't fault them for trading Finney-Smith when they did.
Oh, I thought you were going to make the trade Luka argument.
No.
Okay, thank God.
That's a year too early right now.
Yeah, I was going to I don't even think you could trade him right now.
You could, definitely.
You're gonna need more than the Nets got gave up for the Suns gave up for Durant.
I want more than what the T-Wolves got for Rudy, or other way around.
So you don't hate the Dodo trade?
No.
I mean, absolutely. Like you get Kyrie, but like
here's the thing,
it still rips me to pieces. It makes me sad.
I love Dorian Finney-Smith, but
he sucks in Brooklyn.
He's 30. And he has 3 years left on his deal after this one. Yeah. So I don't hate it from the standpoint of how well is he going to age? And by trading him, you free up all this future money.
Right.
You weren't paying him that much, though.
No, it's $15 million a year for the next 3. And I love him. But are we looking at Finney-Smith's contract in a couple years and being like, man, we just can't move off of this? And he's not as effective on defense, but we feel like he has to get 35 minutes a night because he's a fan favorite and you're kind of stuck. You know what I mean?
Hudson, appreciate you being active in the chat, dude. He said Doe wasn't the problem, the pick was. And I agree with that. Like, as far, I didn't want to trade Dodo, but like, you're going to give up a first for expiring contract
and a first in 2029.
Yeah, 2 firsts.
Really stings.
Oh, really? It was just one.
One first.
One Spencer Dinwiddie, who was the Kyrie replacement, and Doe.
But I mean, I think once they sign the extension with Kyrie, I think that's fine. It's one first Kyrie.
I mean, yeah, it's worth it if they get the extension done.
Which counterpoint, like where's Kyrie going to go if not here? Lakers aren't going to have the cap space. Who
D'Lo
else is going to go grab
Lakers.
him? Who else is going to go grab him? Like, is there anyone else out there besides some random crap team he's not going to want to go to versus here?
San Antonio. Just kidding.
I think Kyrie's here next season. I think they resign.
I hope you're right. I do. I really do. Because at that point, the first round, it makes sense. Even though they didn't have any verbal guarantees going into the trade.
Well, let's just say that if he's not here next season and they don't dramatically overhaul this team, then
I'm not going to be watching.
Me and Tankathon are going to be spending a lot of time together beyond this season, if you know what I mean.
Luka might just not come back from Slovenia.
So who are the available? Yeah, who are the available free? I haven't looked. Who are the available free agents if Kyrie doesn't sign? I don't think it's that great.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Middleton.
The fact that you said Russell
Bucks
Westbrook
have
second.
bird rights for Milwaukee, or for Middleton. Kyrie, Porzingis, homecoming. The big one for me, if they could figure out a way to swing it, would be
Draymond.
Kuzma.
Draymond's available.
If they got Kuzma,
that's intriguing.
Kuz and center.
Kuzma would be great.
Scoring 4 or 3.
Like
No,
imagine
he's 4.
Yeah.
let's just like slot Kuzma into my scenario where they draft Jarris Walker, they sign Pirtle,
Well, he's only 27.
and then they
Kuzma?
sign Kuzma.
Uh-huh.
And so your starting 5 would be Luka, Kyrie, Kuzma, Walker, and Pirtle.
Hey, Josh Richardson's available this summer.
Oh, right. League minimum.
Anywho, let's see. Yeah, okay. So we already hit Kyrie. This is not Kyrie's fault, and any national media person who's trying to put this on Kyrie,
That's just a lazy take.
well, they're just
Lazy.
exposing themselves. They're
Yeah.
exposing themselves to someone who doesn't watch Mavs basketball.
So I was listening to a
He
pod.
just has a Kyrie bias. But
When
yeah.
Kyrie shoots over 52.7%, the Mavs are 5-1. And then when he shoots under 52.7%,
point-
they're
okay.
they're 1 in whatever.
Like 1 in 8 or something.
1 in
Yeah,
8.
I heard that
And
too.
so it's like, I mean, and they said this on that podcast that shall remain nameless because we want you to listen to this one. Like Kyrie has to be perfect for the Mavs to win. And so, I mean, if he's not perfect every night, like we're gonna lose. And then
That's
they put
because
it, and
of
then
our defense.
and then
though,
they put
more
it on
than-
him, and yeah, it's a lazy take.
Yeah. It's way more because of the defense
Yeah.
than the
Can't
offense.
can't rebound the basketball. Can't play defense.
It's not his fault.
Anything else on the Mavs? Any other thoughts? Anything on your mind?
No, not really.
No?
Maybe I don't know if they do fire Jason Kidd, they got to go get the old Celtics guy, right? I can't remember his name.
Ime Udoka?
Yeah,
Oh, yes, please.
that's the consensus pick, I think.
That'd be great.
Yes, please.
Cuban would probably have mercy on him if he pulled the same thing again, too. So
I'm gonna leave that untouched. Not gonna even go there. All right. March Madness.
Yes.
Very mad. It's very mad. This year.
I've got. Hold on. I got a text from a very reliable source that said it is in fact mad this year. I don't know if you all can confirm that as well, but holy crap!
First
Yeah.
appointed by Woj, or first reported by Woj.
First reported by Making the Call. Make sure,
Yeah.
please credit us.
It was us.
This no 1 seeds in the Elite Eight, no 1 or 2 seeds in the Final Four. Only one
3
team in the Final Four that's ever been to the Final Four in UConn.
Yeah, 3 first timers.
No bracket group that I am a part of has a score over 700.
Yes, and
Nobody.
I already paid out for the Making the Call bracket pool because no one has any teams left.
Who won?
Like,
Nobody picked
congratulations
FAU?
to Matt Hitt for winning. I ordered his coffee today, sent him the payout. Cody, congrats on second place. Grace,
granddad.
Trent's sister, got third place. No one has teams left. The max points is equal to total points right now for the entire pool.
All 17 brackets.
This is the
Single one.
craziest tournament maybe ever.
It's up there.
I think
It
I
is
saw
up there.
something for ESPN for their 20 million brackets that were entered. Only 32 of them correctly picked the Final Four.
And, yeah, they had to be like made while the guys were drunk that were making them.
Or just
Yeah, it
they
was
made
like-
all the scenarios, pretty much.
They filled out all 20 that you can fill out or whatever.
Uh-huh. And then
Just
they
a
made
different email.
other email accounts and did another
And they
20.
were like, what if it's a Miami party in the Final Four? Or what if it's a Florida party in the Final Four?
And then Connecticut.
It's literally
Two
beach
very
towns in
similar
Connecticut.
cultures.
Beach towns in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Here come
Um,
others.
But I gotta say, man, it's been fun. Like, other than UConn blowing out every team outside of the first half against Iona in the first round, I feel like all these games in like the Sweet 16. Well, I guess Texas over Xavier was another one, but a lot of
That
these
was
games
bad.
have been very competitive, down to the wire, entertaining. Like you had Marquise Noel, first game in Madison Square Garden, set the tournament record for most assists in a game.
That was insane. Can I also say just how happy I am that it's Miami orange and not burn orange in the Final Four?
Right. They
It-
choked hard, too.
They
were
choked hard.
up 17 with 10 minutes left.
I mean, after the Aggies in this tournament, my favorite team was whoever was playing Texas that round. So I'm really glad that Miami pulled it off.
I
Who
heard
picked
that
them?
I heard Texas was going to go hire Tom Herman after that crushing defeat against Miami. See how that goes.
They need to keep their interim guy, though.
They did.
I think so too.
They did. Texas kept their. They hired.
Oh,
him.
They
they-
announced it.
They
Yeah.
did it today?
They did. They announced it.
Oh,
Gus
okay. Well,
Fring,
good for him.
baby.
5 years, I think.
Nice.
So I want to ask this about the Final Four. So, do y'all have any ideas of like why we're seeing parity like this? Is it like a bigger picture type thing? Is this just an anomaly? Like,
No.
what do y'all think?
I think it's just March, and it's sort of just it's a crapshoot. Like you just gotta you can put 40 minutes together, and the other team's not making their shots, getting frustrated. Foul trouble's a big thing.
Yeah.
Fouls in March is huge.
I'm not going to
So-
sit here and try and rationalize what happened in March because every time I try
Yeah,
to
it's
do
just-
that
it's just-
going into brackets, it just crumbles. And
It's a
so
wasted exercise. It's just expect anything. Expect the unexpected.
See, but the thing is like in March, you always get the early upsets. But usually by the time you get to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, it's kind of the best teams that you thought going into it.
well, and it's
like-
wild.
Yeah,
There were no
yeah.
5-12s, no 5-12 upsets either.
No 5-12s. You have 2 5 seeds in the Final Four.
Yep. But yet there's a 16-1.
Exactly.
Like
But
it makes
like-
March is just on crack, and
Every
we
year.
never know. You never know what crackheads are going to do. So
Last year we had, what was it? St. Peter's was a 15 seed
in the Sweet
that got
16,
to like the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like last year we had crazy upsets, but the Final Four was
Gosh, I picked
Villanova,
Kentucky to win it.
Kansas, Duke, and North Carolina. Like it was pretty much all blue bloods.
Mhm.
So like you
No
normally
blue
end
bloods.
up getting, I mean, and like go back a year before that, you had, was the year before that when you had, that was Oral Roberts. They were a 15 seed.
Oh yeah.
And
Shout out.
That's why
they
we
go to
picked
the
them
Sweet
this year.
16.
Golden Eagles.
So you had crazy upsets, but then the championship game was Baylor versus Gonzaga, which everyone thought were the two best teams all year going into the tournament.
And how did that game turn out, Andrew?
Sick of Bears.
By a mile.
By a mile. Shout out Drew Timme. So,
Best 30-year-old in the tournament.
but my point is like you always get these upsets in the tournament, but usually by the end of it, you kind of get the teams that you expected to be there. But that's not
calms
the case
down.
this year.
It really does, and it didn't. You might have a point, but I mean, I can't give you a good reason why.
It's
Like
just-
honestly,
it's March.
I
That's
saw
it.
someone make this point, and I don't know if it's something we're going to continue to see, but the teams are a lot older this year because of like the extra years of eligibility with COVID.
that's fair.
And so you have a lot of these like mid-major teams, like go look up like the average age of San Diego State. Like it's an old team. Same with Florida Atlantic. So you have these guys who have been there for years.
That's why Drew Timmy's been playing since I was in like 5th grade.
I heard Drew Timmy's son just committed to Gonzaga.
Good for him.
So
Same stash. It looks like his daddy.
I don't know if we'll continue to see that, but It might be one reason, but I don't know. I've liked just the craziness of this tournament. It's definitely been a lot of fun.
I love getting to just throw my bracket out early and just enjoy it.
Yes, me too.
It's great. It's kind of like fantasy football, though. I kind of just like set it, and then I root for the teams that I want to root for, and then I check it at the end.
All right,
let's
get some predictions. Winners of the 2 Final Four games, and then winner of the whole dang thing.
San Diego State's defense is so good, but FAU just seems like team of destiny. Let's do matchup at a time.
Okay, Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State.
I'm gonna take San Diego State. They look. They've been in close games, but they look good, and they shut it down late. Hudson, if you're still watching, comment your picks too. We'd love to know.
Yes.
Alex?
I'll just go the other way and say Florida Atlantic. I was thinking Florida State, but
who?
The thing with what?
Who?
Florida State.
Florida.
I'm
Who?
going with FAU.
FAU.
What are we doing here?
Who?
What?
Who?
I don't
What?
know.
That's
This
who
is
I'm
on-
taking.
This is like
I'm
an
taking
Abbott.
the Owls, baby. FAU.
This is like an Abbott and Costello bit.
That's what I was thinking. No, but I'm going with the Owls because the thing with San Diego State is they have a great defense, but if you got a hot hand shooting and they get down like 7, 10, like they're pretty much out of the game. Like they have to be on their point defense and shut you down. So that's a pretty easy formula for FAU to go ahead and whoop on them. So going with the Owls.
I did love. It was FAU, or was it the San Diego State game where like the guy who hit the nail in the coffin free throws was like the guy that the coach first recruited when he got to the school.
Oh, that's right.
So that was nice. As nice as
yeah.
it could be for me to not remember. It really impacted me emotionally where I don't remember. I think it was SDSU. So
All right, Miami versus UConn.
plus Kawhi.
I'm going UConn.
Yep.
I'm going UConn here, and I'm
taking UConn to win the whole thing.
I'm going UConn all the way.
Same.
I kind of hope it's not UConn because I'd like to see a team win their first championship, but UConn is just they've been the best team the whole tournament.
Well, and you said too, like UConn is also. I mean, they're not just the first team to, or the only team to win a championship. They're the only team to get to the Final Four. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would love for that to be the storyline. Obviously, I'm rooting for FAU the whole way.
I'm rooting for either FAU or the Aztecs.
I can't root for Miami. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's my second least favorite orange.
So, all right. Let's end with this. Saving the best for last, honestly, because I'm so excited to talk about this. Guys, baseball's back.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go.
I busted out my Rangers jersey. Don't ask me who's on the back of it. I'm not going to show it.
Unstitch that part.
Oh man.
Austin's rocking his Rangers hat.
We're not even
going to get to it. Not even
smelly.
Gonna talk about it.
Don't you think, Alex?
No. It smells great.
It's got a nice odor to it.
Smells great. So I'm so excited. Opening day is this Thursday. And can anyone remind me who's pitching for the Rangers on Thursday?
DeGrom. Grum.
Wait, hold on. Can you say it again? Who's
DeGrom?
Okay, it's like
I
don't know. It still hasn't sunk in that the Rangers got Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah. Honestly, my moments of joy for the past year. 1, the birth of my son. And then 2, when the Rangers signed Jacob DeGrom. I leapt out of my seat and went to the text immediately. And then you can ask my wife, I did not sit down for 30 minutes. I was so hyped.
It's one of the best sports moments, I think. Of the last 5 years, I would say number 1 was the Luka game winner against the Clippers in the bubble. And then number 2 is probably signing Jacob deGrom. I
Is
think.
number 2 not when the Cowboys signed Brandon Carr? I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Actually, you know what? Number 2 for me was probably Baylor winning it all, but like that was so anticlimactic because the game was over in 5 minutes. It was still exciting to see.
But every bucket was just a dagger after that, and you got to. I mean, It's like freaking Brutus at Caesar. Like it was
Ete Brute.
That's your first Shakespearean reference on this podcast. Clip
Yes, we are cultured here at Making the Call.
Pinkies out, gentlemen.
But the Rangers. So, yeah, I'm so excited, man. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you were this excited for opening day? Because I've got it in my mind, but I'm curious if y'all have.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even. I went to opening day in like 2017.
Aren't they like 2-8 in their last?
2017 was what I was going to say. That was coming off of 2016, where they had the best record in baseball, and then they lost in the first round to Toronto.
Oh.
But they still had Darvish, they still had Hamels, they still had Beltre, they had Lucroy. I mean, they still had a bunch of guys, and I thought, oh, okay, they got kicked in the mouth last year.
Just run it back.
They're going to come back, and then they had a losing record, and that was kind of the beginning of the end.
Until now.
Projected lineup. Can I just read through this because I put it in the doc and I haven't stopped staring at it since.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So this is in the batting order, and I'll also say the positions. Marcus Semien at second base, Corey Seager at shortstop, future MVP. Nate Lowe at first base, Adolis Garcia outfield, Josh Young third base, Jonah Heim catcher, Robbie Grossman left field, Brad Miller DH, Bubba Thompson right field or center field.
And it's confirmed he's the starting third baseman. No questions there.
Don't steal my story. Don't steal my storyline, Alex.
Oh, I didn't know there was a storyline. I was just curious.
That top 5 of Semien, Seager, Lowe, Garcia, Young.
Dude, honestly, top 6.
Yeah, throw Heim in there too.
I think Heim is a prolific batter. I do.
I am like,
he's got some pop, but
he's got some pop. Yeah, give him credit.
Strikeouts too.
Give him
so
credit.
let me read off
most catchers though.
Let me read off the starting rotation, and then let's get into the storylines because that'll kind of be a good jumping off point. The kind of tentative 5-man rotation is DeGrom 1, Eovaldi 2, Martin Perez 3, John Gray 4, and Andrew Heaney 5.
It's beautiful.
Is that the best starting rotation top to bottom the Rangers have had since
Cliff Lee
2016?
More.
Which was Darvish and Hamels, and I think Perez was actually on that squad. I mean,
yeah.
I think I'd take this rotation over that one. I'd say more like 2011, 12, 10 range.
This is stupid deep.
Yeah.
I'm like,
barring one thing.
Perez wasn't who he was now. He was still a little shaky at times.
That's true.
Like Hamels and Darvish were the only 2 proven dudes. Everybody else is like hit or miss.
Perez had some growing pains in 16.
Yeah. I'm going to read the stat off to you, and then we'll get into storylines. So throughout all of spring training, Jacob deGrom, John Gray, and Nathan Eovaldi, they combined to pitch 30 and 2/3 innings. They had a 0.00 ERA. They had 30 strikeouts.
That's pretty
and
good.
6 walks.
Good Lord.
It's pretty good, but as a wise man once said, it's spring training. Let's temper those expectations and see what happens on Thursday.
You know what? A wiser man also said that there isn't a number less than 0 in ERA. So,
yeah.
That's about as good as it gets.
How many innings?
30.
30.2 or 0.66.
So average 10 innings a pitcher because it was 3 guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's I'm so excited, man.
Yeah.
That was the most hesitant. Just okay. I'm like, yeah, duh.
All right, storylines. Austin, you want to go first? What's a storyline you're most excited to watch for?
Dude,
in the
I am
2023 season?
pumped for Texas boy Josh Young. His road to get to the majors hampered by COVID and then by labrum surgery, it pops off for a home run in his first major league at bat last season in September, and then he's going to be the starter at third base on opening day. Contender for AL Rookie of the Year. I'm just excited to see. He's got a lot of power in his swing, and he's a great fielder. I think he's the third baseman of the future for the Rangers, and just helps to complete the infield. I'm excited to follow him this season. So that was my cop out, that wasn't my cop out answer. My answer is pitching, but if not, it's Josh Young. So
I'm Josh Young, future Rookie of the Year potentially.
Yep.
He's a rookie. Oh yeah,
he's still considered a rookie this season.
Okay,
because he didn't play enough games.
He's like Ben
last
Simmons.
Year.
Good one.
That's a good storyline. Alex, do you have one?
Oh, God.
He's a Mariners fan. Why are you asking him?
Julio Rodriguez looking
He's like, get off.
Oh, come
get
on,
off, Alex.
Come on, you're still a Rangers fan. You're both.
Definitely both. Which
Dude, same division.
Same division, but look at the two teams. Like combined, they've gone to 2 World Series,
and they've never been good at the same time. So it's never been a problem.
Combined, they've gone to 2 World Series, and both of them were
really just a storyline for both teams. Let's just have somebody knock off these freaking Astros already. Like let's have Rangers, Mariners, not the Angels, but either of those two teams. Like let's just take the AL Western crown from the Astros, which.
We can talk about expectations, but I don't know.
Astros aren't going to have Altuve for a little bit, broken wrist. So, I don't know. It's for the taking there. You guys have you guys have a rotation that can go up with them now. And
yep. I love how he switched to you guys really fast.
He sure. I caught that too.
Yeah,
I caught it.
It's gonna be a tricky season, but honestly, hope when they're not playing each other, it'll be a fun season for me. I hope so. I hope both teams at least win. I guess we can just go to expectations. I hope both teams are at least an 80-win type.
And
team.
Alex hopes that the Mariners win one more game in the season series than the Rangers do.
No comment.
All right, my storyline. It's going to be another hitter, not Josh Young. This is a hitter who lost the most amount of hits last year due to the shift. And I don't know if you knew this, but the shift is no longer a thing.
They work around it though.
It's not the same.
It is not the same.
This man goes by the name of Corey Seager. They haven't had the shift in spring training, and I know Alex hated on me for being excited about spring training stats, but let me give you some more.
MVP.
Corey Seager in 52 plate appearances. You ready for these numbers?
What was the number, Andrew?
467 batting average. 510 on base percentage. 756 slugging. Had 11 runs, 4 home runs, and 9 RBIs.
It's an OPS over 1,200. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
it is.
Only 5 walks and 7 strikeouts, and an OPS of 1264.
Good Lord.
Ballin'.
He's
ready for Thursday.
To rake this season. Like
him and Joey Gallo against the shift.
But the difference between him and Joey Gallo is he gets base hits.
Corey Seager doesn't strike out.
He gets base hits. Like, I hope you're ready because you're like, buckle up. Buckle up, Mariners fan, because you're going to have to face Corey Seager, the better Seager brother, for many, many at-bats this season.
I'm ready.
Yes, I'm talking to you, Alex.
I know you're not talking to me.
No.
I mean, yeah, I'm ready. It's just like the only thing in the back of my mind that is like it's injuries to the rotation. Yeah, that's the only because I mean, DeGrom has history, Eovaldi has history, even John Gray last season at times. Perez. I mean, so obviously injuries can wreck any team
for sure,
any season. But the depth to the rotation as like insurance, like I'm excited.
But But you know what, man? They signed more pitchers than they needed to.
They did. Because who's the sixth guy?
Jake Odorizzi.
Yep, that's who it is. I couldn't remember his name.
And they have any young guys like barking at the bit, like in AAA?
Mm-hmm.
Cole Winn.
White.
Owen White, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they got young guys. They've got some veterans.
They got Mr. Zippo,
Who's that?
Jack Leiter.
Ah,
Oh, nice. That
Ha!
was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, I'm so excited for this season. It's going to be so much fun.
just excited for
I
all
feel
the baseball, honestly.
I feel this season how I felt about the Mavs at the start of this past season.
Well, that's a little high.
Oh, geez.
No, I'm talking about just like in terms of excitement, but
Okay,
I think
yeah.
for me, the excitement is elevated because I haven't seen a Rangers roster like this in a long time. So
This is more like the excitement for the Mavs 2 years ago, where we're like, let's just get to the second round of the playoffs. Like, let's just see the Rangers make the playoffs again.
yeah, it's like me pre-Western Conference. Like if they
At
make
least get
playoffs,
to the wild card round.
I would feel like it was us when we like beat the Jazz and we're on our way to play the Suns in the second round. Like
Yeah.
you make
Like,
the playoffs and you're playing with house money.
Like you win that little 3-game wild card series, you're feeling good, and you're on your way to the division series.
because after this
That was a
season,
fun
like,
ride.
I know it's a little early to look after the season, but after this season, the Rangers just get better.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, nobody's really leaving. You got prospects coming up, and you know Rocker, Leiter,
Evan Carter in the outfield.
Evan Carter, exactly.
He's knocking on the door.
If he doesn't make his appearance late,
But Ezekiel Duran, he's still there.
He'll
you know,
probably
you-
be up at. He'll probably start.
Yeah,
off
he'll be
with
like
big
the utility player for us. He'll get in a
Mhm.
lot, start some games here and there.
you switch back to us, Alex. You've already stated your intentions. I'm going to need you to curtail it.
games.
I'm cheering for both. Made by intentions, clear.
He's
I like
like Rob Lowe with the NFL Shield hat.
Go
It's
ALS.
like, I just
or-
want everyone to have fun.
He's like, I like both.
All right, let's finish with expectations for this season. I wanted to give you what Vegas has as the current over/under win totals
World
for our
Series.
beloved
I bet
Texas
it's
Rangers.
low.
What do y'all think it is?
77.5.
I'm gonna go. I think they're going to put it at like 80.
Austin
80.
wins 81.5,
That's sort of high.
which is also the exact same odds or the exact same win total as the Angels, 81.5.
That's attainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did this team go 82-80?
Yes.
It can, yeah.
Barring
the over.
barring injury, they might win 90.
Yeah.
They could.
I could see it.
Seattle's 86.5 and Houston's 97.5.
Wow, that's a big discrepancy.
Let's see if Houston has the highest. Hold on.
11 game
curious.
difference.
Houston has the highest win total.
You might be tempted to take the under on Houston.
Especially with their injuries now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of think so too.
Yeah, they could start out slow.
I think
Go
like
back
as
up.
far as I'm having so I got to take off my homer hat. All right. Just make the playoffs. That's my expectation. Make the wild card.
Yeah, there's 2 spots now.
Yeah. Just make
Even
the
if
wild
they
card.
don't like actually make it, be in contention.
Yeah.
With a week left in the season.
For
Yeah.
the full season. Yeah.
Like maybe a little longer. Let's say 10 games left. I want them to be within a game and a half of a wild card spot.
That's fair.
And I think
Because
they can do
then
that.
they get better. Then they get better, and they contend, like really contend next season.
And we just have entertaining baseball until football season, which is really the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
and
haven't
here's
had
another thing.
that. There's been a gap from May
Yeah, it's just been
To-
like, all right, let's just get through
the end of
summer,
August.
and then it's football
and
time.
I'm not turning on any PGA majors, so
Well,
baseball's it for me.
counter that. I'll turn on some PGA
Yeah.
majors.
Same. Well, and the only other thing I'll say here is I'm watching the Bruce Bochy effect.
Oh,
Oh
Because
yeah,
we didn't even talk
him.
about him. You
Not
said
only
we.
Bruce Bochy,
You said we, Alex.
Mike freaking
Maddox,
Maddox.
let's
is
go.
back.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
Like I can just
Mikey.
feel the hand on my shoulder right now whenever I feel stressed out. He says, "Hey, it's all right, man. Just calm down, relax. Just throw this pitch. You got it."
I didn't
Like-
expect to be this hyped on the podcast. I'm
Mike Maddox,
World
Bruce
Series.
Oh.
Bochy. Jacob DeGrom,
We're winning 120 games.
Josh
Let's go.
Young.
Hey, I mean,
162-0 inbound, baby. Let's do this thing.
Take that, Ian Kinsler.
I mean, say they just start out super hot. They make one or two moves at the trade deadline. They're right there.
They really buy, yeah. Who's untouchable in the farm system for you, Andrew?
No one.
Evan
Honestly, no one.
Carter,
I think Owen might be more untouchable than Leiter at this point. I think he's
Evan
pitched
Carter,
better.
and Owen White, and that's it. I would move
Yeah,
Leiter, and I would move Rocker, and I would move Porter for the
With
right.
their current pitching depth, they could move a couple of those young guys.
Because Owen White's like
Owen White's been tearing it
legitimately
up.
Did he have a good
he's
spring?
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
But I mean, as you said, it's only spring training.
Yeah.
Right.
Gosh, Alex was solely on this segment just to.
You know who else had a good spring
to
training?
keep us
Robbie Ray, Cy Young winner from 2 years ago, added a splitter. I think his ERA is at 1, so not as good. But
For all your Mariners, all the Mariners listeners.
Hold on one sec. Let me see something here.
you checking
Okay,
if
yeah.
1 is more than 0?
So I just did the math. 1 is more than 0.
Yeah, we just got to score 2 runs to win.
That's twice as many as we need to score with.
Hey, twice as more as 0 is still 0. Twice more than 0 is still 0.
Well, no, you would need to score 1 to win, though.
Yeah, but it's not twice as much as 0.
Okay, we're actually going to end with this because this is a fun hypothetical. So
2
with
times
the
0
new-
is 0, Andrew.
With the new, yes, I'm aware. With the new ghost runner rules and extra innings, have you realized that a pitcher could throw a perfect game and lose?
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know if I did a deep dive on the ghost. Refresh me.
So in extra
So in
innings
the regular
now,
season,
in extra innings, you start off with 1 out and a runner on second.
no, it's 0 outs.
Oh, 0 outs and a runner on second.
Yeah.
So if you're a pitcher and you're throwing a perfect game, you go into the 10th inning and they do a ground out to the second baseman. Guy moves from second to third. They do a sac fly. Guy scores. You lose 1-0. You didn't give up a hit. You didn't give up a walk.
You just got to.
It's almost as stupid as the pickoff limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only get 3, right?
You only get 3, and then they can just run. Stupid.
I just watched Davis Bertans hit a 3 from the logo.
Oh my gosh. I
What's the
haven't
score?
had it on. I've had the Twitch
125 to 102, 44 seconds left.
21 seconds. 127.
All right, I'm back in. The Mavs are winning it all. All right, let's end it there.
Run it back. Resign Christian Wood.
Let's
not
end it
coming
there.
back.
I will handle the dad joke this
Jesus.
time since Trent's not here. I know a bunch of good jokes about umbrellas, but they usually go over people's heads.
I was gonna try not to laugh, and I did.
Got him.
What invention allows us to see through walls? Windows.
So that's
Nothing?
that's just a statement of fact.
Yeah.
How's that a joke, though? It's just
What's a vampire's favorite ship?
pirate ship? Oh. No. Well.
Beep.
End it.
A blood vessel.
That's not a pirate.
You should end it at the umbrella joke.
Yeah, I might just cut all this out.
Yeah, past
Should-
the umbrella
'cause then
joke.
You could just cuss. You could
Just cut it at the umbrella.
Throw out Alex's cuss word.
Yeah.
You
All
want me
right,
to beep-
that's
you
going
want
to
me
do it for
beep
the
us back
podcast.
in?
It's like the latest cuss word on the pod we've had.
I know you almost made it, man. You were this close.
You were so close.
Lost focus. It's the dad joke.
All right. That's going to do it for all of us here at Making the Call. Thank you to Austin and Alex and Rosie for jumping on this week. Thank you to everyone who was tuning in to us on Twitch. Thank you,
Hudson.
of course,
Shout out.
to the wonderful Firegrounds Coffee, holding up the beautiful Firegrounds Coffee mug right here on the stream. Got
had
the
some
back
this
end right
morning.
behind me. Austin had some this morning.
Aeropress,
I got-
baby.
Matt, winner of the bracket pool, has a fresh order of the Variety Pack coffee pods on his way right now. It's delicious coffee. They got great coffee mugs too. If you're a mug head like me, go get yourself a Firegrounds coffee mug.
Is that a thing?
I just made it a thing.
I'm a mughead.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this
Mughead.
Firegrounds read as I watch JaVale McGee do the post game interview, and I truly have seen it all. So
JaVale after I'm going to Firegrounds Coffee.
that's right. Go try Firegrounds Coffee today. Use promo code MTC10 for 2 reasons. 1, so they know that we sent you, and 2, so you can get that 10% off because we want you to get that discount. But make sure you use that promo code MTC10. We will be back next week talking probably some more NFL draft, maybe some fantasy.
Rangers.
Maybe the Mavs have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. Fingers crossed. We're going to have lots of things to talk about next week, so you won't want to miss it. Also, our good man Austin Young is writing about the Dallas Cowboys
Oh, I forgot.
on the Substack.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
doing
guys
that.
definitely better tune into that. He's ready for
I
it.
think ahead.
Make
Go
sure you
Cowboys.
subscribe to the Substack. We'll have a link to that in the show notes of this episode. So you can get all the content we're posting on the Substack on a weekly
Been
basis.
working on it for weeks.
You can download the app, join our gambling thread so that you can win, but also sometimes lose money because of my picks. You know, it's always lots of fun.
Yeah, fade Andrew bet on Trent. Just for you guys there.
All right, that was rude. That was mean. All right, we're ending it. Thank you to everyone who listened, and we will see you next time.